I could just listen to the whole song, actually. And not...
Just let it roll.
Welcome back, TTG. Just gonna kick back for a minute. It's a beautiful song, actually, recommended by our man Tyler down at Story Coffee. I swung in there last week, and I was like, "Give me an intro song," and he came through. So shout out Tyler. We're gonna let it play for a little bit. I could use a little more coffee myself, and we're just vibing out on this luxurious Monday that could be any Monday. You'll never know. How you guys doing over there on that side of the table, huh?
Thank you. Doing good. Doing great.
Doing good, doing great?
Yeah. Sorry, I just did one of the weird,
doing good,
neurospicy things where I started drawing in the middle of nowhere.
And then just remembered where you were at for a second there and came up.
Yep.
No,
I went with the music. I went where it took me, okay?
Nice.
No, I feel you. This is a vibe. I've literally listened to this song 9 times this morning, too. I was just like, yeah, let's get there.
It's good. Now I know why you're saying you're just in a more mellow mood today. I like it. I was digging it.
But here we are. It's been a fun season 5 thus far. We're cruising along. Excited to continue to bring some guests on. I just had a pretty wild week myself. My first real pop-up of the year over at Flocka's went tremendous. It was like the luxury equivalent of a farmer's market. Like, I had a bathroom within walking distance with warm water.
Oh.
She was giving out water and free salsa and chips.
Oh, you fancy.
I was just like Flocka, they normally charge us to be here. And she was just like, shout out. It was fucking beautiful. Easter Bunny was out there.
Aww.
I learned that if the Easter Bunny says he's going to be there from 11 to 2, there's absolutely no reason to show up at 11 because there'll be no line at noon because everyone gets there at 11. So, and then we did the grand release, which was Lightweight, aka the live podcast that we've been talking about a little bit.
Nice.
It was a killer, but man, this song, good choice, Ty.
I'm fighting with Tyler right now, so.
It's beef?
We got beef right now.
Oh.
And it's because Nakoa and I were at Target when we were leaving, and he saw us, and so he was like, Nakoa. And I was just like, am I not fucking here? Tyler, I see you more than Nakoa does. We talk way more. What the fuck? So we're beefing.
Maybe
so,
you forgot your name.
Maybe. That's fair.
Or he's being a target, bro.
Could have said anything. Or he's being a target, bro.
Target,
so
bro.
then this morning when I was picking up this guy, he made it a point to just tease me and to only say things to Nakoa. So then when I left, I said bye specifically. I was like, bye, Jimmy and Cole. And I looked at Tyler.
Not bye to anybody else who might be in this room.
Yeah.
Big invisible bitch.
So Tyler and I are beefing right now, and I'm sure we'll make up tomorrow.
Yeah.
Maybe today. Who knows? The day's
we really listened to that whole song. Well, you see how easy that was?
Yeah.
Oh,
it's a really good song.
It rocks.
Yeah.
It rolls.
It does something to my
flows.
brain that makes me
It's meditative. God damn. Well, hey, welcome back to Through the Grapevine. Season 5, episode something. We're here at the beautiful Livermore Valley Advanced Creative Studio. No Rory today, but the rest of us are here.
Yeah.
The thruple continues.
platonically.
Platonically.
I was going to say, you say it so much now. It's who
I
are we
have to say
convincing?
it.
I
What
don't know.
if I don't say it now? It feels like they're like, wow, it was really platonic up until episode 3.
Yeah.
5,
And
right?
it got weird.
We're just, it's just a word we chose.
No.
Trio. We could start saying trio, but whatever.
No.
So, at this point, though, as far as diving into the news, it's probably 3 weeks removed at this point. Y'all know Bar Q, man. R.I.P. Bar Quiote. I think it was what, 2020 to March 24th, 2023. R.I.P.
Yeah, good
Was
for them.
it 2020 or was it 21?
I think they opened in the pandemic.
I think they did, because that's what I was going to say. I remember them building that thing out during the back half of the summer through the pandemic, and I was like, bold move.
Yeah.
But good for you guys.
Because that was about the time the range life transition as well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that Bar Quiote will still kind of be there, just different ownership now. So Christian and
Wayne and Lauren, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
Wayne and Lauren sold the business, I believe they've moved on to other things. I think Christian may have moved back to New York.
Back to New York.
So they sold the business to El Charo.
Next door neighbors.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not sure. I believe from what I have gathered, they're going to be keeping the business relatively the same because on the evening of the last night, people were stealing art and stuff off the wall. So they have asked, please return it. And they explained that it wasn't a going out of business situation. They had sold the business and that people now have stolen property from El Charo. So hopefully Elvis was returned. I feel like it's becoming... Somebody took Elvis. And I saw Andy Halverson. He was just like, Savannah, you better return Elvis. I was like, no way, dude. No. And now it's a thing. And now I'm like, listen, if you don't return it, I'm going to rat on you. So maybe that can be like a fun thing in Livermore where we all try.
Where's Elvis?
Where's Elvis?
Oh,
I'm not sure what else they took, but they took Elvis for sure.
They took a few things. I made it over early, and I'm glad I did because it was like the fastest I've ever gotten drunk at Bar Quiote. Everyone was just buying You want a shot? You want a shot? Round of shots? You know, I was just like, okay.
Wow.
Zonked. And I'm glad I went early because they had to close at 9:30. Like things went sour.
They closed literally right after I placed our order. Like Nakoa wanted to go for one drink. We go in. It was.
Why'd they close early? Because it got rowdy?
Because people were stealing stuff off the walls, and I think it was just a little overwhelming for the bartenders. There was just a lot going on, and we literally placed our orders with a bartender. There was two other gentlemen that I snuck in with, and that were like, hey, we'll grab your drinks if you let us. Actually, one of them, I think he works at Charles R, or maybe he is Charles R. I don't know. I didn't get the whole backstory.
He was Charles R.
He was very, very, they were both very nice, but we put our order in, and I'm like, here's my money, and they're like, cool, and they're like, all right, last round. Right after that, Sinakoa drank his drink, and then we got out of there.
I don't blame them. Like I said, I don't know much about the circumstances. I do know it was, it was a fresh scar for the staff. So if I were in their shoes, fuck that. We're not going out like that. I would have closed that bitch up too. You're stealing from us. It's getting just rowdy. When I was leaving, you could, when you could just smell that weird shit in the air. I was like, it's about to get weird. People had crazy eyes and shit.
just the vibe started to change.
Well, I feel like too, there was just a lot of people that were super tipsy that evening, just around downtown. I don't even mean in Bar Quiote. And I think it was because the weather was nice. I think people were day drinking at that point because we had left dinner at El Charo and immediately walked over to Quiote, and there's just people in the parking lot. It was just, I think it was the first weekend where the weather was nice throughout the whole weekend, so people were just
outside
feeling themselves.
For the first time,
and just drank a lot. So it was kind of just a rowdy crowd across Livermore.
What will become a Bar Quiote? I know El Charo bought it.
I don't know what they're changing.
So I was being the nosy person that I am.
Good, thank you.
So
you mean you're not nosy? You're our investigative journalist. I was through the Grapevine podcast. What are you talking about?
I was there. You go. What are we?
I'm super nosy.
Investigative
I'm an eavesdropper.
Journalist.
Yes,
that's an official.
And
title
we're easily
now.
swayed if you pay us on Real Media.
So it is true. El Charo purchased them. Many people are like, well, there's already one El Charo. It's not going to be another El Charo.
Yeah, that place is too small for a restaurant too. That little spot right there.
Well, they don't have a hood either, which is why they did hot dogs to begin with.
So I learned that El Charo is interested in renovating a kitchen, getting a hood and proper fire.
That would change it a lot.
Okay. Which would change it a lot. Yep. That could still change once they start getting quotes and shit. But as of now, I was like, they're interested in renovating the space. It's 3 weeks later, whatever. Look at, TTG here. You heard it here first. They're going to call it Maple Plaza Eatery.
Oh, cool.
And that's as much as I really know. But, building a kitchen,
Did you talk to Jose about this?
I've talked to someone else who works there and may still work there.
Not the owner.
Not the owner.
Oh, okay. Wait, is it the guy? Is it the guy?
It's all speculatory,
guy?
It's speculatory.
What do they call it? I got an insider. What do they call him?
Yeah,
NFL?
don't give your sources.
I got a beat reporter down on Maple Plaza.
Don't you dare give your source
away.
They
were telling me that some of the camp sources. So which to me reads like kind of seasonal California cuisine at the very least, right?
Oh, cool.
Maple Plaza Eatery.
When I hear eatery or market, that's kind of where I'm going.
Yeah. So it's still
interesting.
Such a beautiful fucking space, right?
Oh, that whole location has been awesome. I wish I had a recording. I like to make, and Savannah knows, Jeremy will soon know, I like to make these crazy predictions about something that I just kind of feel every time I go by it. And that spot was it. It was back when it was the produce market. Before Story was there too, because they were the first one. El Charro has been there for a long time, but I would drive by it and I was like, man, you could see that downtown was pushing more towards the east than it was towards the west side by Zephyr. Like it was moving more towards east. There's more homes towards east, more younger families that live in those condos and stuff that were there. So I started to like recognize this. This is probably like, I don't know, 6-7 years ago when I claimed it. And I was like, if you took that produce market out, you reframe that back section where they usually do the Christmas tree lot, the Boy Scouts do the Christmas tree lot there or whatever. I would have Bar Quiote almost be a pass through. And then I would have all live bands and stuff, and you would be able to sit in that lot. And I would gate it with a small little gate, but still so you could see over, not like fenced in.
But you had to go
enough to where you had to pass, exit through the gift shop, baby. Grab a drink, go back, see the band. But you could also still see it from outside, because if you just had a little bit of a barrier there, and you could separate the drinking, right, for legality purposes. But if you did that, you could still enjoy the band walking by, and it kind of welcomes you into that downtown area. So I always thought that spot would be perfect, and it's kind of shaping out to be just that.
I mean, they always save it for the Christmas tree lot, and there's been some like barbecue things that will go back there, but it'd be great if like there can be.
Well, and the folks that throw the Christmas tree are the owners, the family
that owns that
lot there.
Got it.
But it'd be cool if there was something like during the summer months that can go there, like a pop up that can go there.
Pick a couple picnic tables and a little pop up stage, and you could just leave it.
Pop-up.
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know the family personally, but everything that lot has shows that like the family is down to do cool shit. Like
for sure,
paint a mural. They do
so
Christmas trees,
let's cut
barbecue.
this part out, and the three of us are gonna come up with a really good idea.
Yeah, that's
actually we don't even have to cut it out. We already got the jump because it's coming out 3 weeks later. Joke's on you.
They would make a good guest too.
Yeah,
just to get offhand, we bring them in because there's been a lot of activity there, and then maybe we could convince them to rent us that middle shop. And then what we'll do is we'll just move this studio into there, and then there won't actually be a real like business. It'll just be like our hangout.
That's it.
But somehow it makes enough money. So we can stay
guys, pack everything up. We're going.
I'm all in.
Grab these cameras.
A little cheese parlor. We got a bar. We got a restaurant. We got a coffee shop.
I know. I want that spot. I know Jeremy wants that spot. Just sitting there. That middle spot.
I'm gonna rent it out too. Just hang out and be like, get away from my spot.
Yeah.
Get off my stoop.
Get off my stoop. But so I mean, backtracking, the doors won't be closed long. And well, I guess we'll see. I mean, they didn't intend on it ending the way it did. So they may
they would have expected the smash and grab that happened on the last day.
But it sounds like the intent is to open up, a week and a half from Friday, from closing day.
That's a quick turnaround
to keep it going. And that's not that the kitchen will be ready by then, but they'll get a food vendor. Keep the lights on.
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
sure.
So people don't lose momentum. It's
keep
changing.
that revenue going too,
exactly.
And keep the people showing up.
Because it does sound like some of the Bar Q staff is actually staying with Jose. Like you have the building came with staff,
right?
The ones who chose to stay. So he's going to keep it open, keep it very light.
I'm gonna text Karina later today.
Yeah.
So that's but that was that's all news from our Maple Street beat reporter, who will remain anonymous.
I like this.
But in the realm of Bar Q, let's not move on just yet. Let's reminisce a little bit.
You got some reminiscing beats there?
No, I don't. But I might just play that again because this shit was nice.
You're just looking for an excuse.
Oh man, so
thanks for the good times.
Yeah, right.
Thanks
Bar
for the
Q.
cocktail.
Yeah, you got any particular memories that stand out that you can remember?
The last time that I was drunk actually was there, and this was 2021.
Oh, really? Like good drunk? Like proper drunk?
Oh, I mean...
Viking drunk.
I mean, it was like Viking drunk. It was really bad. It was a really good time. My parents were there, but it was like to the point where like I don't remember the transition from where we went there and that later in the night I met with 2 other friends elsewhere.
So you were
I don't remember that transition.
You were Viking drunk. Yeah, good for you.
It was a good time though. I had a lot of hot dogs and cocktails. It was great.
Yeah, a lot of good
But
hot
that was the
dogs.
last time I've been drunk.
So,
And, yeah.
I never ran into you there, but I imagine you've been to Q a time or two.
I have, yeah.
Oh,
Usually
dude,
I was
yeah.
with Savannah. Savannah and Nicole, yeah.
I think I showed up like one time, like after like done at Sabio, and like the CFL crew was there, like
Oh,
in
man.
general, and I like I don't ever go out after a shift, and I like went out for that.
Let's go.
Yeah.
That was a interesting time
Yeah.
for one of our people.
I mean, I'm kind of like a recluse too, a little bit. Like, I'll enjoy the downtown, but my job is so social, like everything I do. So then whenever I get home and I have some time, I'm usually like, lock me in here.
Yep.
But yeah, that was where I had my first mezcal drink.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, I think Nicole bought it
Yeah,
for me.
Nicole bought
Barbecue
everybody a bunch
sauce.
of like mezcal.
And he
'cause
bought me
we
a
try to recruit
mezcal.
people.
Yeah, and one sip later, I knew it was not for me.
What is it?
I drink
God, I
tequila. I'm a
love
tequila
mezcal.
drinker, but
Yeah.
this was
Dude, tequila Matt
this
is fun.
this is a
Tequila
different
Matt
realm.
is oh,
Tequila
man.
Matt's fun. Out of the 4 times out of the year that
they
he
get a little
does drink
crazy.
it.
They get a little crazy.
Tequila Matt is fun.
We'll do a little tequila tasting podcast
man.
one of these times.
Yeah, I'm down. Matt got a little,
Summer-
he
summer
got
days.
a little saucy at your birthday party. I don't know if
Yeah.
that was
Oh
at-
yeah. Oh,
That
yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
even
yeah,
that
yeah,
wasn't
yeah.
even Matt's like sauciest, which is really funny.
Oh, yeah.
Matt likes to start chants when
I was
he gets
I was
saucy.
I was getting there. A couple champs might have been started. A couple secret chants.
I can't remember which friend. I think it was Megan that I told. I was like, listen, like if we get Matt, like I was like a few more drinks, Matt will start creating like chants to people about like
You're gonna start a
I won't
movement,
even-
baby.
I
Let's
won't even
go.
say like what some of the chants are because you have to earn, like you have to be
Yeah,
there.
you gotta be there.
Right.
But
This
they're
is-
really great.
All right. Well, Savannah and
Guaranteed
Matt,
good
if
time.
you're familiar with them, I'm going to say a few Bar Quiote references. I want you to tell me the first thing or sentence that comes to your mind.
Ooh,
Okay.
Okay.
I like this.
So here we go. We're going to start easy. Weekend water.
Oh, on tap.
Okay.
On tap? Is that what you said?
I mean, that's not wrong.
Yeah,
It's not wrong.
On tap.
Paloma.
Delicious.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, you're gonna have to slow down. What is that? I don't even know what that is.
Paloma's a drink.
Yeah.
It's a cocktail.
It's a grapefruit margarita.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. It's nice.
Yeah.
It's
I think
nice.
you've had one before. You like them.
Refreshing.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. The Bar Quiote queso dip with chili verde.
I don't know if I had it with chili verde. I think I just had it on its own.
Then you didn't have them.
So then my answer is never had it.
Okay. No, let's keep going.
Okay.
I got a couple more.
Okay.
The pork belly and kimchi hot dog.
A special. A rare special.
See, I didn't get. I should have really like got in while the getting was good there. I've only like sampled, you know, like I
Yeah.
had like a bite of a smash burger.
Yeah.
I got a little bit of the queso, like probably like someone's leftover hot dog that fell on the floor. I should have really
That's
like
pretty
dove
good. Still
in.
got the garnish on it. Shit. No, and actually that was my next one. And it's the R.I.P smash burger.
Oh yeah,
I mean, legendary, right?
Savannah's not saying anything. What's happening?
You don't ask me that. Do you remember what happened?
Well, what happened? No, now you gotta tell us. You gotta
Did you not get one too?
No.
give us the dirt.
Remember I got
Oh yeah, nothing to see here.
Say it. They're closed.
They were
because
sold
of
out.
No, because it's like this one person. I don't think that was the reason. It was fuck. There's no. I told you this.
It doesn't mean it didn't taste good.
It
Doesn't mean it didn't taste good.
tasted good, but I was terribly. I think that was kind of.
She was terribly hungover the following.
It didn't
morning.
agree with your stomach or what?
Do you remember that like week where I could not come into like work and I was just like so deathly ill? It was like that week. So I think in fairness, I don't think it was food poisoning, but I think like I was like sick and I hadn't known it yet at that point, like with a terrible, I mean, my doctors still don't know what the situation was, but I was like super sick. I think it was like a really bad sinus infection because I had like terrible vertigo. So like I had that. And then like that night I woke up and everywhere, exorcist
Good.
style.
All right.
Like,
Well, then
it was
I'll take
so
this
bad.
one
And I told
because
you about this.
It was, it's all in the
Because you
reflection
asked
of
me,
Bar
and I was just
Quiote.
like, "Ooh, don't bring up a smash burger for a long time for me, dude. Like, don't bring it up."
Well, then I'll talk
It wasn't
about the
the smash
R.I.P.
burger.
Yeah,
It wasn't the
R.I.P.
smash burger. It
The
was
R.I.P.
just
smash burger
yeah.
was
It was
one of
delicious.
the best. I mean, one of the best in town. It's got to be.
Yeah.
R.I.P. has he's got a track record for making tremendous things between
Raph's
bread.
back at the gym too. Congrats, Raph.
Yeah.
It's nice-
Yeah.
It's been
Yeah,
nice
he
to see
is.
you around,
He
dude.
was over there. So I guess the long and short of that brief segment was that a great menu, a fun menu. They got weirder than I think Livermore was maybe ready for. It'll be that classic tale of they were ahead of their time.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? There's bars like that everywhere in Oakland and San
Right.
Francisco and New York
Well, I have
and
like a
cities that
theory on it too. I just feel like this was my theory on it. Is like there's plenty of people who were.
Mm-hmm.
I think the issue is that like we are a suburban area, and so there's people with families. Not to mean that like families definitely didn't go there, but I think sometimes
on Smashburger night they did.
Well, like even like hot dog night.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And I think what's hard is when you don't have a full kitchen, it becomes limited because then it just takes one person in the group to be like, I don't like hot dogs, and then you like don't go.
Yeah.
And then you end up going somewhere else. So I feel like it's
Mm-hmm.
really hard to have a bar only and then to have a specialty bar that's focused on certain like a
agave,
like
hot dogs.
yeah. I
It's
think
a
that's
crowd.
what, so I think if you're gonna
It's a
have
crowd.
that type of bar, then having a full kitchen then helps because again, it just takes one lame person to be like, I don't like hot dogs, and then you like don't get to go. Which like whatever,
Yeah.
that's fine. You don't like hot dogs, but I think that's what makes it. That's what was hard. I mean, again, it doesn't seem like they're going out of business. It just seemed like they made a decision to
To move
sell.
on,
Yeah,
to sell.
to move on.
Yeah. I think that's a good synopsis.
Yeah, and I'd wonder why that is too, because like, let's be honest, when the getting's good, you don't just pack up and leave.
Yeah.
So there was obviously some sort of, but it doesn't necessarily mean that it was like a struggle of the business model. It doesn't mean it was a struggle of the location. It could all just means that they were in a different season of their life, and
I
you
think
know,
that's
an
more so
opportunity
what it
came up.
was.
Like it sounds like one of the people moving east. Like so, it could just be the timing on it.
Well, and like
you know?
Wayne has 2 little kids.
Yeah, things change. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
5 years ago when they opened Range Life, they hadn't had a kid. Yeah, they hadn't had a kid yet, right? I think or Lauren had just got Prego or something like that.
Yeah.
5 years later, you got 2 kids.
Yeah, and the restaurant industry is hard though too. I mean,
Yeah.
that's just
When
a
you have
hard
kids,
industry.
yeah.
I mean, just in general, you have you know
just
very
in
few
general,
businesses
especially when you have kids.
have, and one of the harder parts, and this is something that I don't even deal with in my business, but I'm just familiar with, but. Doing something with inventory, right, is tough because you have to buy the inventory. You
Yeah.
want to make sure you have enough cash on hand. You want to make sure you're selling it. Now imagine that inventory just goes bad.
Yeah, make it
Right?
a perishable inventory,
Yeah.
and now you got a whole nother issue.
That
Yep.
that is the scariest thing. Well, one of the scariest things about opening a restaurant or any food establishment. It's one of the reasons why I chose to go with spices as the extension of my
Smart.
kitchen.
Well, yeah, and it is hard when you talk like perishable. It's and so funny because I feel like you and I talk about that. Is anytime I want to open my own wine bar, something that always holds me back is like, fuck, people want full kitchens, and like that's how you kind of stay in business. And you're like, dude, but opening a full kitchen and doing all that is so.
It's a different business.
It's a different
you're
business at
going
that
into a
point,
different
and it's
business
so
venture.
much more difficult. And so you have to like really there's a perfect. I feel like Cheese Parlor has got it figured out because they do have a type of food. You know what I mean? But it makes it so fucking hard.
Well, you know,
especially when you're not
yeah.
trying to have like a drunk fest bar.
I think, you know,
Yes.
wine and
Yeah,
beer,
good
but
point.
more, you know, more emphasis on wine. You know, I think of Double Barrel, the old Double Barrel downtown.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, they had to close and move on for
Yeah.
reasons that I don't
Other
know. It was
reasons,
before
yeah.
me.
Right.
But what I saw there is like, as far as the wine model, if you do it right and thoughtfully, I think the wine and beer license model can run without a kitchen. There's plenty of things that you can rock that are simple, clean, and wine centric. Like
Yeah.
I could see.
I mean, I
Quiote
definitely
being a
have
wine
ideas
bar
to
that-
make it
Yeah,
work. Yeah,
but-
and you
I
want to know
feel-
what was something really funny? When Nicole and I were there a few weeks ago, I was like looking around and be like, I'd put that there. Like I said, it was like
there.
which is something that I do anytime I walk into an establishment and be like, how could I make this work for me? And then it was funny because it, sold
Yeah.
2 weeks later.
So
It's funny.
it's I think, and I guess
Perishables make it really hard, and
I know.
when you throw little kids into the mix, it makes it even more difficult. I was working with Amy Chapelet of Iconic Chapelet Winery, and she was telling me about when her kids were young because her background before she married Dominic Chapelet was restaurants. That's what she always worked in, and she owned her own restaurants. And I think her kids were probably they were all under maybe 8 years old at like that point. And she was going to open another one, and her father-in-law was just like, I don't know. He was like it's so, he was like, why do you keep doing this to yourself? And it's kind of like what we talked about last week too, of like, there's a weird, and her and I kind of talked about this, so like you get like a weird high when you're like doing it and you're like, you love it, but like,
Oh, man,
you
yeah.
crash hard. And she does say that was like one of her better choices that she made was to like not open another one when her kids were little. And she was just like, I'm so happy that I didn't end up doing that because she was like, it was very like, it was already very hard. And she's like, I think life would have been very different at that point.
I think, and I had I like to use any excuse to reflect and, Bar Quiote closing, and just having conversations with people because we're all curious. We all love that place, right? Like,
yeah,
I'm happy that we lived through the Bar Q chapter, right? We get to talk about that. Got a little bit of gear, got my shirt. But just relative to, we talk about small businesses and things of that nature, the tools and mechanics. And, relative to the comment I just made about my spices, there was many points where like, what the heck am I going to offer? Especially after being in the direct service industry, right? And I'm glad I chose a product to start me off that matches the pace in which I want to grow and scale. Because like kitchens, I love them. Savannah makes the joke, I want to put them in everyone's business. You know what your business needs? A full kitchen.
Always.
Yeah.
But for real, like that's fucking terrifying. And like, while my spices are perishable, I recommend using them within 90 to 120 days and recouping with me. Otherwise, like that's 90 and 120 days for me to think about it versus like
that's a good shelf life.
You know what I'm saying?
Versus 2 days.
Versus 2 days. Like, all right, the seafood just came in. We got Saturday and Sunday to make it discipline. It's like
right.
Multiply that by 52 weeks and
it's hard because full service is so fun. And you and I talk about a lot of like what my dream business would be, and it's just the wine bar, beverage bar, and then with a full kitchen that I get to use once a month or whenever I want to do it. But trying to justify that cost is insane. And
I wonder if you could do some sort of like model where you have the kitchen.
People rent it out. Like
so like, what you do is like have the kitchen be like an open kitchen, right? So that way when you're utilizing it, but then you bring somebody in for maybe like a cooking lesson.
We talked about it
or something like that.
Yeah.
Actually, there's actually a new, so it's actually a couple
Still
commercial.
hard, but...
well, not exactly butcher. I don't think, not exactly what you're talking about, but another commercial kitchen is opening up. Like Marty's is over there now. There's one already on Isabel, or Wright Brothers over by the airport and whatnot.
That little area is developing over there a little bit, huh?
Yeah.
And I think we could use more commercial kitchens, honestly, to help.
If it's more the ghost kitchen concept, then
which I love.
Yeah, then a consumer facing kitchen that like we interact with. I think it's more for like Uber Eats and DoorDashes to drop by and pick. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But that's like great for people to get started. It's something that we talk about is like, where's your starting point? And I think that's a great way for people to get started. Like, I wish we had more commercial kitchens so that people can do something that is a lower barrier of entry and are like practicing out their skills. Be like, okay, can I make this work instead of having to make a giant leap to the next step?
Right, like if rock bottom is having to cancel your lease at the commercial kitchen, like there's recovery in that.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. Like you were saying, there's just not as much of a upfront investment, and then you can kind of find your your niche or your flavor with it.
I think that would be my deal. We, Jeremy and I are big dreamers, and we like to go around and look at businesses that are not for sale. We won't tell you which one it is, but there's one that like we just desperately want. We walked around and
it's
we were
way too big.
No, it's not, dude. It's perfect with the little side one. I still dream about it.
Which bike? You guys can talk.
What's it even called?
It's the furniture store downtown.
Oh, right on.
Yeah.
Okay.
And because they have the like side attachment too, and then they have the upstairs. But then the problem with the upstairs is that anybody who's over the height of 5'10" like cannot properly like.
Oh, because it's almost like a loft. It's not like a second story.
That property's grandfathered in. Whoever moves in next, if you wanted to do anything with that upstairs, it would come with a whole mess of ADA that is ugly.
With like the people who are currently in it are, I believe, the building owners too.
Yeah,
so like they don't plan on like.
Yeah, it was interesting. I think they said it was like sold, and the people they sold it to wanted to sell it, so they bought it back.
That's right. Remember, I called my mom to be like, "Hey, like, what's the ADA thing? Like, if you're trying." And then I talked to her about it, and I was just like, "Ooh, wow, that's like a whole."
So,
because would you have to put in order to make that function? You have to put elevator.
Definitely.
Unless what you are, if something is being offered that's special and different up there, then you have to make it ADA accessible. If it's the same exact thing of what's down here, then you don't have to.
Oh, I see.
Because like,
yep, that makes sense because they have accessibility to it.
Yes.
Yeah.
So if it were just seating, yeah. So it was fun, but
but you would have to make it like height accessible for like most people.
Like Carl Wente would not be allowed up.
Well, the thing is too is that might be its own flavor if you just had seating up there, right? I don't know how good the view is, but you're just gonna be like, hey, look, you're gonna duck.
Yeah, it's kind of cozy, man. Yeah,
that's what gives it its own little.
Cozy.
Its
I
own
hate
little
tall
flavor.
men, anyways.
So, R.I.P. Bar Q. We love you. Thank you for the memories, man. Wayne, Lauren, Christian, the team. You guys did something great over there. and you left something great for Jose and his team to make even more awesome. So that's still a win. We lose something, but there's a whole lot still to gain.
I hope the spirit stays.
Yeah, right. Yeah,
I hope the vibe, the spirit, and the cocktails.
Energy. So it'll take some time, but be patient, guys. Be patient. But I thought that was an interesting conversation to transition into just small business focuses and the scaries and the highs and whatnot. So we'll see what comes next from that. Otherwise, good times. Fuck.
Yeah. I think it was cool because meaning in the sense of like it had its importance in the role of that was the first kind of specialty bar that didn't have the full kitchen, that had kind of unique menu items that also that had a bar with some unique cocktails to it. So I think it was cool that it kind of pushed us forward in that sense and gave the option for that to exist here. I mean, outside of like Last Word, there's not really too many like specialty type places with just like their cocktails and a couple of good.
And Last Word even has a hood.
Yeah.
You know, that's
they do.
That's really the only stipulation that, like, so I think, no, they were the first one in a really, really long time to get that permitting. Because who else? No one else offers food. I think the Goodnight Tavern. Goodnight.
But again, I wouldn't say that they're within the to me, you're like, that's a bar and people are going there for a specific thing, right? Like opposed to like a specialty themed.
Yeah.
Like that offers a multitude of beverages, whereas like it's very different than having an agave based spirit, which like I like that. I think that shit's cool. Like if I want to go, I don't know, if there was a gin bar, I'd absolutely fucking go there. If there was do you know what I mean? Like, doesn't matter what it is, I'd go there. Like, I like the specialty. I think it's cool. It's just, I think I think when you have a specialty, you gotta kind of have a full kitchen, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think
specialty,
actually, and especially in particular, that's something. So their Range Life or Bar Quiote wasn't the only one. And I think specialty and craft is something that's continuing to make Livermore unique. We talk about it all the time, So outside of the Bar Quiotes of the world, who really picked a specific niche that they wanted to aim in, and they wrote it out. They wrote it out.
Yeah.
They didn't. A lot of people would have got scared and maybe changed with what the demand was, and they weren't dumb. They were listening, but like they stayed true. This is who we are. This is who we're going to be.
Yeah, I respect that.
Otherwise, you think of the Wing and Bakery.
So good.
Their specialty. They have a focus, right? You see, the cheese parlor is a very specialized craft butcher shop. Jeremy, the spice guy, Charming Fig is grown from her specialty, but still, and I guess the point is like, I think it's awesome. Bluebird's chocolate. I still think that's our new identity. That's offer something unique. Becoming. Yeah.
I like it. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of different, restaurants and bars down there, but when you could get specific and we have these people that do these niche things and they do them really well, it makes it fun, and then it keeps you moving around the restaurants and it kind of forces you to be like, well, we had this and this was their specialty. Let's go up the street and try this and try that. Yeah. And there's a lot. Bar Quiote
just did it really well. Great drinks.
Yeah.
I fucking love the hot dogs. Great vibes.
Yeah.
They did it. They did it well.
Pork and kimchi. So I think, and I don't think particularly in the U.S. and in bigger cities, like the Bay Areas and San Diego's and LA's and New York's and whatnot, I've noticed a shift in people getting back to a specialty focus, right? Like, 60, 70 years ago, if you did one thing, that's what you did. I do shoes. I sell guns. I make this, I make that.
Yeah.
It seems like a very European model where like I specialize in one thing. You know what I'm saying? I can't imagine there's too many 27-page PF Changs in Europe,
right?
Like we have here in the States and whatnot. I see the encyclopedia-sized menus disappearing.
Yeah.
Because we're all like, it is scary. Why have menus that big? Why have that much inventory?
Yeah, thank goodness we don't have that anymore. I hated trying to decide in that. Like, give me like a 7-item menu and make all 7 items really freaking good, and let's call it.
Yeah,
there it is.
Yeah.
So I don't think that trend's going out of style.
They did that.
I don't think so.
They had the things and they did them all good. There's not one thing on there that was not good.
Man,
and not done to excellence.
So I also see supper clubs are getting a lot. I read a cool New York Times article about supper clubs and the rise of supper clubs.
We need TTG supper club. Actually, let's talk about that after.
Yeah. Also, we got. You guys stay with us, man. TTG is going to continue to grow. We got crazy ideas, and Matt's going to help us hone them in and focus.
We could do it.
We will do it.
We could do it. But hey, the sun's starting to come out a little bit. Things are turning. Vines are budding here in the beautiful Livermore Valley a little bit. We're getting ready for summertime. You guys, anything exciting you might want to share? Anything going on in the CFL world when summertime happens?
Bunch of fun stuff.
Yeah. We usually we have some more things on the docket. Right now, basically, I'm just trying to get my feet underneath me over the last couple of weeks. One of my coaches that was around for a long time, a part-time, moved to Santa Rosa, and so. For me, it's just like I went from 3 hours of coaching to close to like 17 a week now. Woo! So from 3 to 17.
Big jump.
On top of doing the fire department as well.
Yeah, on top of a couple of the other ventures that I have. But we're excited because we're going to really invest into a lot of community events this year. Like I really want to do stuff where we get people together more for hikes. I really want to create some more opportunities for the families to kind of get together down at the gym at the weekend, whether that's just I've kept kicking down around this idea, and eventually just got to pull the trigger where we'll have like a member appreciation protein pancake breakfast.
We talk about it a lot.
Yeah, well, if it's just easy, right? We get some Kodiak cakes, go down to the gym, myself, Grace, we get Albert down there. We'll cook up some pancakes for all our members after they've worked out hard. And a couple years back, prior to COVID, we did a tie-dye day. So we got these white CFL shirts, and Grace put up this whole like board of like how to tie-dye. We had all the kids and all the parents out there and did some, they tie-dyed their CFL shirts. We also have a thing called Murph. It's a workout that honors
Coming this year, come on.
Yeah, get it in.
Come on.
It's a workout that honors Navy SEAL Michael Murphy, who died in, I believe it was 2005 in Operation Red Wings. He was part of the SEAL group that went out there for observation, came under fire, and everybody in the team died except for one guy, Marcus Luttrell. And Marcus Luttrell actually lived out there somehow, by some miracle, made his way like 9 miles away from the battle zone, and he was shot like some
near death
ridiculous times, like a dozen times, like bit his tongue off. Like I won't get into the gruesome details, but really check out that story because it is inspirational in terms of like how far people will be able to go.
Lone Survivor, Hollywood movie was based off of that, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
So Michael Murphy was the guy that ran up to the top of the hill, took a bunch of enemy fire, made a radio call knowing that he was going to make that call and then die because of just the amount of extreme gunfire and things that they were coming underneath. So the Navy SEAL Foundation created this workout called Murph in honor of him, Michael Murphy's last name. It is a 1 mile run, 100 pull-ups, 200 push-ups, 300 air squats, and then it finishes with a mile run. Then you try to do that within a set time. Usually we try to keep it within an hour or so. And so that happens every Memorial Day weekend down at the gym. So if you guys are interested, you will hear this episode before then. So come on down. You come down on Monday morning. We usually do a hangout. There's ways that
we break it up, and there's ways to scale it as well.
Everybody could participate. So you don't need to do that crazy of a workout. A lot of people don't. There's different ways to adjust it down for different fitness levels. But it just is a fun time. You come out there, you do a really tough, hard workout. We usually throw the easy up. We do a little potluck style at the end of it. So everybody kind of hangs out and enjoys some good weather after a hard workout.
Grace always does a water balloon fight despite what Matt wants.
Throw me in the kitchen. I will help cook that day.
All right, let's do it.
It's a good time, yeah.
Yeah, but that's the hope of CFL. And kind of like, if there was a Venn diagram, you have like CFL, you have like me, and then we have this podcast where it just kind of meets in the middle. And that's the hope, is to be able to just have more opportunities for families and people to get together and just do something fun and healthy. And hopefully we get to pull in a bunch of our other Livermore local businesses this year and be able to do some really cool stuff together as a community.
Heck yeah. Community engagement is definitely something I look forward to. Just in the summer, right? It's easy to. The lights are on. It's beautiful outside.
Yeah, it's warm out. People just want to hang out and talk, and the days are long, which is nice. So you don't feel like you're pressured to get right back to the next thing. But that's pretty much on the docket as far as the business side goes. But I'm looking forward to just being able to walk downtown, and
too.
We'll do the summer seminars. Yes,
which are great. It's going to be like a skill-based one, double unders, rope climbs, stuff like that. And it's within just like a few hours. I learned how to do rope climbs from like that one seminar, which was great. And now just do them during the workouts, which is fantastic. Those are free, and you bring your friend too.
Yeah, that's what I say. That's a good point. So as those come up and I have them calendared, which I will have by the end of this week because I need to get on that. The year's just evaporating. But we'll be able to announce them through here. So if any of you guys listening to this, maybe if CrossFit isn't your forte, but you're into obstacle racing and you want to learn how to climb a rope or maybe swing from a pull-up bar properly, or something of that sort, then definitely this seminar would be good for you. Or if you just want to come learn in general. So we'll announce them on here, and they will be free, and we'll get the weeks out. So maybe we could time it with the release versus.
We will also, there's a bunch of us at the gym that will be doing a mud run, obstacle course run, July 8th. I believe it's actually here in town. So
mud run.
Stay tuned to CFL email and probably Instagram, because we'll probably be posting about that too. So
down and dirty.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, if you guys are interested in any of those workshops or the ones that will be coming out, I'm going to try to do Grace's, once she finishes up her nutrition challenge that's happening at Stanford right now. I really want to get her to do a couple workshops with some nutrition and behavioral habits, because I think that'll kind of open the door to a lot of people that may not be super into like the, CrossFit style workouts, but still want to learn.
Health is health.
Health about their nutrition.
And I mean, health is health. And so I'm a big fan of that stuff. You never know what you're going to learn if you're open to it. Which is, and I've already learned. I'm still learning a bunch of things from that first episode that we had with Grace, which is trending well so far. We appreciate you guys listening.
To Grace-alicious.
To Grace-alicious, yeah.
We actually got some people through the door for that podcast already. I was going to tell you guys earlier.
Is that right?
That's right.
An old member.
Get out of here.
Yep. Came back and was like, I heard your podcast. And it was funny because she said that to me. So my next answer back was, which one?
Yeah.
I was like, where did you hear me on the internet? But she referenced us, and then two other members that came through go, I was listening to the podcast, and I was like, okay, I got to get my workout in today. Like I was like inspired after I heard some of the stuff.
Let's go. That's what I'm talking about.
It had a great impact, good positive impact.
Paul, I've got Paul, the team, people. I've heard good feedback as well, and I guess it's just humbling. People are enjoying what we're doing. They're ebbing and flowing with us. They're down with the changes. I think
awesome.
People, I mean, if we weren't doing it, I'd listen to a local podcast, a homegrown podcast, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm just happy that we get to do it and represent everybody. And we have a bunch of awesome guests that we're lining up. You can expect people like Harrison Wood, Aurora Nava, which is AKA Flocka. We're going to have Julia Charming Fig on here soon. We'd love to have Amanda, and I forget her last name, but Mushroom Mama. We'll have the Wingins back. We're excited to get back after it and let the community continue to speak for us. It's not just us. We enjoy this. We're still working on the thruple, the trio. But it's a freaking blast. It's a freaking blast. So season fucking 5. Let's go, huh?
Yeah.
Let's go. So I got one more topic for us because we keep poking at it. But at March 26th, I had the opportunity, my team at Darcy Kent had the opportunity to do, we released our flagship wine called Choreography. Which is not just it's a wine, not a dance. Over at Almost Famous, and the event went well, but within the event we were practicing elements of a live podcast that the team and I, Savannah and I, would love to do sooner than later.
Trying to put wine in front of your face.
Let's go and have fun and bullshit and banter and just make it,
just wine tasting, but like fun because it's us.
And I mean, think late night show with all your favorite folks, right?
Yeah, I dig it. I think you guys would be perfect in that.
Oh man, it was such.
And if you had a crowd, you interact with the crowd too. We could start riffing.
Get a cheesy live band with us playing all the spots and just nailing it. So
killing it.
It went well. I don't, we're dreaming of doing one in April, which may come a little sooner. But the point is like. We're going to do one. Yeah. Hopefully. And once we do one.
Just want to put fucking wine in front of your face, dude.
It's going to be a good time.
Wine.
So,
it's all I want.
We can't wait to start sharing that more with you, but just starting to drop the seats. Cause when it comes, like tickets are going to be live soon and you got to go get them. Go get them. Don't wait. Cause we'll sell out. I hope we sell it.
You will.
A girl can dream.
I'll buy all of them if you don't.
Wait, Matt's going to be a scalper.
Outside.
I need tickets.
1 for 5, 2 for 8. Who needs it?
I need tickets. So, hey, you guys got anything else on your heart and your minds? Otherwise, nothing wrong with the casual one today, guys. It was beautiful.
I like the casual. I mean, it's kind of almost like a Bar Quiote tribute a little bit.
Yeah.
But there's nothing wrong with that. The only thing that I want to say is I'm stoked for it to be summertime in Livermore. I feel like, especially with Grace-alicious. you guys, let me attach onto this. I'm really excited for the network opportunities and the conversations that'll start coming. I know once we really get into a flow here and we start getting these guests in and you guys start seeing all the content being distributed across, I think we could build something pretty cool here. And in the hope and the aim is that something that for you guys, the listeners, you get some sort of value out of it, whether it's just knowing more about the town you're living, whether it's meeting some of these personalities for the businesses that you patron. Is that the right word for that?
Yeah.
Patronize,
yeah, I do.
or just Patron. I'll take a few of those.
But being able to meet the people and then create a story behind them, their story, humanize it, let you guys really know what people are out here doing, what their intent is, where they come from, and what their business is all about is really kind of the aim. And I think that we'll have a good summer. And who knows, maybe even catch us outside at some Livermore wine thing. I mean, some Livermore big thing one day.
Come catch these hands outside, y'all.
Yeah. Honey and Wine Festival live podcast.
Come catch these wines outside.
Come catch these wines, bro. Come catch these wines. No, I think you summed it up great. We've thoroughly enjoyed having the food and beverage industry be the core of what our messaging is, and we're excited to just get broader. There's so many more of you that we want to make. This is an inclusive city. This is an inclusive town.
Yeah, buddy.
And you all make it tick. So we're excited to get weird with you. Other than that, I don't have too much more. So I think we're just going to send it off. It's a beautiful Monday. Give us a follow, TTG_podcast on Instagram. You can find anywhere you listen to noise, you can find us. Hit that subscribe button. Set those notifications to stun. Season 5 is live, and you can expect them every Tuesday. So I don't know. Stay beautiful.
Rock and roll.
Eat local, drink local, live local. R.I.P. Bar Quiote.
Together, to see each other.